What if Liverpool's next big signing isn't the name everyone expects, but rather a quiet move that could completely change the Reds' attack? In an increasingly competitive transfer market, Liverpool realized they could lose Semenyo to Manchester City, and, faced with this real risk, turned their attention to an old target, Bradley Barcola. The PSG striker now emerges as a strategic plan B, but one that is far from being just an improvised alternative. Have you ever been in that situation, when a decision needs to be made quickly before it's too late? Barcola is open to the possibility of leaving Paris in search of a new career challenge, and this raises an important alarm at Anfield. Under Arne Slot's management, Liverpool currently has few options on the left side of the attack, making the transfer market even more sensitive and decisive. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might surprise you. There's a behind-the-scenes game happening involving direct competition, strategy, and market timing that could define the Reds' next move in this transfer window. And when a plan B starts to seem as strategic as plan A, it's a sign that something bigger is taking shape. And perhaps it's precisely this type of movement that makes so many people identify with what's happening now at Liverpool. Because, in the end, it's not just about Barcola or Semenyo. It's about decisions made under pressure, about paths that change when the scenario doesn't go as planned. If this topic resonates with you, leave a comment below about what has touched you the most so far, or what in your opinion would be the best choice for the Reds at this moment. Have you ever been in a situation where you needed to have a plan B before plan A even failed? While this transfer battle unfolds behind the scenes, your participation here is what makes this channel grow and reach more people who also want to understand what happens behind the big decisions in football. If this content is helping you see Liverpool's transfer market in a different light, please consciously like the video as someone who supports a conversation worth continuing. And if you enjoy this type of analysis, more in-depth and connected to the behind-the-scenes aspects, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next chapters of this story, because there's still a lot to be revealed, and the scenario can change at any moment. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because when we look closely at Barcola's sporting context at PSG, we begin to see a hidden truth that goes beyond the cold numbers. At 23 years old, he is not an undisputed starter in Paris and faces daily heavy competition for playing time with names like Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and Doué. This directly impacts the journey of any young player, especially when their mentality is geared towards growth, prominence, and career transformation. Even so, Barcola delivers results. 20 games this season, with 5 goals and 3 assists, playing on the wings and also as a false nine, which shows a versatility and tactical intelligence. Valued at around 70 million euros, he is not just a gamble, but a valuable asset in the market, watched by other clubs and increasingly involved in strategic behind-the-scenes dealings. At Liverpool, the scenario changes completely. The competition would basically be with Gakpo, something that alters decisions, expectations, and even the immediate impact on the field. This contrast between PSG and Liverpool helps to understand why the idea of leaving Paris is gaining traction, not as an escape, but as a conscious choice within a career that seeks space, rhythm, and real relevance. Comment below. This makes sense to me. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because Liverpool's reorganization goes far beyond recent results on the scoreboard. After experiencing one of the most unstable periods in recent years, the club is entering a phase of silent transformation, sustained by more rational decisions and a clear change in mentality. 5 unbeaten games, with important victories against Inter Milan and Brighton, didn't happen by chance. They reveal a more streamlined behind-the-scenes environment, a rebuilding of confidence, and a renewed belief in its own journey. This sporting impact directly influences the market, because when a team regains balance, it starts hiring with more discernment and less desperation. And that's exactly what we see now. Liverpool understands that strengthening the attack is important, but also recognizes a hidden truth. The defense needs attention to sustain this recovery. Therefore, Guehi's name appears as a priority for June, not as an immediate reaction, but as part of a plan aligned with what the club wants to build in the medium term. These revelations show a more strategic Liverpool, one that thinks about fit, collective impact, and continuity, creating a solid foundation for decisions that will still reverberate on and off the field. Write this down. I'm on this journey too. If you've made it this far, it's because this conversation really resonated with you. So, subscribe to the channel to continue following this type of deeper analysis, done calmly, with context and attention to detail that often goes unnoticed. Also, leave a like naturally, as someone who supports content that truly adds value. And write a simple phrase in the comments so I know you stayed until the end. It could be, "I'm with you until the end," or "This message was for me." This really helps keep this space alive and bring this conversation to more people who enjoy understanding the behind the scenes of football from another perspective. And when you're finished here, there's a video right next to this that complements everything we've talked about. Click there and continue with me there.